Hey, Dental Nachos crew, it is Paul, Dr. Nacho. We have Margaritas and Momentum by our yet-to-happen sponsor, Cutwater Tequila Margaritas. So if anyone knows the people at Cutwater and ask if they want to sponsor, we would love that. So we have fun guests sharing cool things about what they do, have coming up. One of my best friends in dentisting, Dr. Todd Fleischman, is here. Wanted to share what he does as a dentist, how he helps patients, and what he has coming up with us. Todd, thanks for being on Margaritas and Momentum. It's been a long week. Could you use a margarita yourself now?
I expect to drink several later, that's for sure, yes.
Nice. And you are at your office. Tell us just a little bit about where your feet are, kind of one of those popular things. Where are your feet right now? Tell us about that story, where you are with your office, what your office does, and what you do as a dentist.
Well, I am literally sitting in my private office right now in my physical space, which is nice. Fridays are my administrative day, so it's nice to have a break from patient care. That's very important in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, at this point, most people know that I run a fee-for-service general practice office here in Center City, Philadelphia, focused on comprehensive care, cosmetic dentistry whenever I can, but patient-centered approaches to care. So that's sort of our philosophy, relationship-based dentistry, like we do relationship-based CE.
Love that comment. And, you have to count the smallest of smallest wins in general, but especially during a pandemic. So Monday and Tuesday, I was at my office. Dealing with a lot of things that make you feel like this on the inside. But one patient said yes to a $25,000 implant case. I remember that. And it's not about the $25,000. It's about starting a journey to help a patient. You do a lot of this with cosmetic dentistry. Tell us about how you do that in your office and how you get patients to move forward with momentum on Margaritas and Momentum.
Yeah, I mean, I did it yesterday. I try and teach anyone who's willing to listen to me about my techniques and just educating patients about comprehensive care. Part of that, anyone who knows or anyone who's seen a lecture of mine, I do keynote presentations for patients, right? And so I take a lot of photos. I spend a lot of time developing a plan. I try and figure out what the patient's hot buttons are ahead of time, and I guide my presentation around it. Ultimately, just educating them as much as I can about what their true needs are, and then showing them how we get it done, giving them a laundry list, sort of that menu of treatment like we all do. It's a classic move that really does work, and letting them know that we always lead by idealized care here. That's a line that I use a lot with my new patients. We lead with idealized care. After that, we can dumb it down to whatever works for them based on function, based on aesthetics, based on wants and desires. But it's important to at least let people know that this is the best way to do something, and then here are some other options if we choose not to go that direction. And then once they look through this presentation with me, typically with my treatment coordinator is in the room with me during that process, which is really important. And we try and keep the momentum going when people are interested in pushing forward, in the sense that, like, if they've already taken the photos, if they've already come back to review this treatment plan with them and spend the time, typically at a courtesy, I don't charge for a lot of that stuff on the front end, then they're usually motivated to push forward. And typically when I'm able to spend time with the keynote and with the patient and with my treatment coordinator and showing them their models and showing them their photos, we get great case acceptance because we've done the upfront due diligence. And then it's a matter of like pushing forward. My biggest hang up these days is the turnover time for master ceramists and the people you need to work with to get these cases done, and that's very challenging for me right now as I go to sort of another level of practicing, is how do I streamline the ceramics portions of things and get it to be as predictable as possible.
You're like a chef who goes to the market. You got to have your right stuff, right? So you'll be able to make your top chef meals. Todd's going to be speaking at our Dental Nachos extravaganza on Wednesday, December 2nd, about an amazing case he did, reconstructing someone's smile after trauma. To be part of that for totally free, your favorite price dentist, text Todd to 215-543-645 from our team. Will share that. You also can watch it live with us on YouTube right now. So a few more questions before let you jump, Todd. So I talk about this guy, your dentist core, building up your mind, words, and hands with your heart in the middle of it. Now, when you're a 43-year-old medium-aged dentist like us, I think a lot of times people think it must be so hard to figure out how to do the preps, so hard to insert the case. But that to me is very teachable. But tell us, how do you work on your word skills to get people to follow? You use your photography, you use your keynote. Where would you say, a lot of dentists come to me and say, I want to be able to get better case acceptance talking to patients. What are some resources you would give them?
Gosh, what a great question. I mean, obviously, you do a lot with verbal skill stuff, which I'm a huge proponent of. I think it's critical how we speak to patients. It's a real, I think, Achilles heel for a lot of doctors who just don't understand that it's really a personality game at the same time. You see the most successful dentists on social media are usually the ones that have, I mean, obviously they're putting on a show for social media, so we have to be conscious of that. But they also have big personalities, right? They're engaging with their patients, they're developing relationships. It's very rare in my practice. It does happen more now, but it's very rare in my practice where someone comes off the street and they're like, all right, give me 12 veneers, right?
Right.
It just doesn't work like that for me.
Yeah.
In my practice, a case that I presented to yesterday, this patient's been a patient of mine for 12 years, right? And she's finally ready to kind of move forward to the next level. Things are changing. She's
No
ready
doesn't mean no. Sometimes just means not right now. I think dentists sometimes take a lot of, take it to heart when someone says no, but just think sometimes it means not right now. You're sharing someone 12 years of your relationship building to move forward with their case.
I mean, all of the stuff that you see on my social media is from years of planting seeds, typically. These are not new cases. Some of them are referral based. The one that I'm going to present at the next course that we're doing on December 2nd is my night, was a referral from a specialist, which was really kind. So that's a little bit unique. But yeah, I mean, most of the time you're planting seeds. I talk to patients all the time. I always go to them. Good news is I'm not going anywhere, right? So like whether you do it now or you do it 5 years from now, that's fine. One little pearl I can share as a nugget to toss out is that I always tell patients it's never going to get easier, less expensive, or less time consuming, right? So if you choose to not do it now, I respect that. But understand that those three things, easier, less expensive, less time consuming, are not going to happen, right? And so oftentimes that can be like you just have to use whatever you have in your back pocket to kind of push them over the threshold to push forward, right? And then, like you said, keep that momentum going. If they're interested, you got to find time in your schedule. You got to make sure you have the appointments. You got to make sure your team is ready to deal with financial arrangements. You have to have your ducks in a row. And we go into that room yesterday. We have a treatment plan in place. My treatment coordinator is sitting there. I can leave the room. She can manage first appointments. She can get things scheduled, and patients are motivated. This is a very difficult time during COVID, and you have to absolutely strike while the iron's hot, in my opinion. We're all running businesses also. We need cash flow. I respect that. But it can't take the place of the patient process that you need to go through these machinations, to go through these steps with patients to get the results that everyone here is looking for, right? There's no shortcuts.
And you mentioned about checklists. I always have the checklist manifesto. Nacho Gallagher, I got a basketball.
I don't have mine here. It's probably somewhere else, but I have this one, which is a good one also.
Yeah, that's a great Simon Sinek one. So books are important. So I'll let you jump in a minute, Todd. I love what you said. I actually have a surprise for you. So patients, I agree with you. Patients deserve the chance to say no to the best option. We go out to get wine. I want to know there's a $1,000 bottle. Maybe we're celebrating Boost Camp 100 and we're going to buy it. Maybe we're going to get a $50 bottle. Give them the menu, let them see. And I was on our neighborhood Facebook group. People are asking about dentists, and people said, I go to Dr. Todd Fleischman, and even though I'm not ready to do all the work, he takes a lot of time to share what's going on in your mouth and doesn't make you feel guilty if you don't do it. And that was a total authentic response I saw on a Being Neighborly Philadelphia group asking for dental recommendations. So that type of stuff matters, Todd. You should be proud of what you're doing. And thanks for being such a great Nacho friend.
Hey, man, for you, I would do anything, you know it. And it's my absolute pleasure. And listen, this is important stuff. I mean, people have to remember, I'm 42 years old. I've been doing this 15, 16 years now. Like, none of these things happened the first year I was out, right? Not only my clinical skill set, which takes many, many years to even be comfortable with, and only first now, this amount of time, am I comfortable doing these larger cases, right? I was never doing them as a young dentist because I wasn't prepared to do them.
For sure.
And so it takes a lot of time. Try and be as patient as you can. You absolutely grow into it. Every conversation counts, right? That's what it comes down to. Every conversation counts. And don't think just because people aren't interested right now, you just got to keep them in your practice, right? Keep them in your practice. When they're ready for the treatment, they're going to want to come to you because they've developed a relationship. That's when you can shine with your skill set. That's
true golden, Nacho. Enjoy your trip, Todd. Keep your pandemic hair. We'll see you on Wednesday the 2nd. Thanks for hanging with us. We really appreciate it. Text Todd to 215-543-6454 to get his watch and pass. Appreciate it, Todd.
It's my pleasure for you, man. Love you guys, all right?
Thanks, Todd. Love you.
All right.
Awesome. Great start here. You get to hear from the awesome Dr. Todd Fleischman. Amazing podcast on the Dental Amigos with us. If you're watching watching our YouTube channel. We're going to keep our margaritas and momentum going. Love to share a virtual margarita with my newest friend. We have Dr. James Anderson. He's in halftime of his full contact arts and crafting and dentistry. James, tell us what you're doing in dentistry right now and also about your company, eAssist.
You bet. Thanks a lot, Paul. I appreciate it. Hey, this is my COVID hair. I don't want to get a cut either. This is dentistry. This is I graduated 2002 from OHSU and have started 9 dental practices over the years.
Wow, awesome.
Just always wanted to start and build one and do create jobs for folks. Never really turned it into a DSO. I probably could have done some of that. Didn't do that. Instead, I sold them to dentists that were younger coming out of school. And
cool.
It's just fun. Dentistry's fun. You're creating jobs for people. It's something I didn't realize that I would get so much satisfaction out of as a dental student.
Yeah, nice.
You really are, right? You're helping
people. I actually think of that too. Sometimes on like my toughest, most annoying day, like I don't know what day, yesterday, but I say at least I'm creating the opportunity for people to work full time and they live their life because of our office. And that does give me a sense of being proud of doing that. So it's a really good point.
It's an intrinsic reward that I didn't realize I'd enjoy out of dentistry. But one of the problems we face at the front as dentists is the gossip that sometimes happens in a dental office. Sometimes you have turnover in the front, and you've got all sorts of concerns about staff members pointing fingers at each other, and that's part of the leadership development that all dentists have to figure out too. Is how do we really manage our staff and help them become the best people they can be, so that things just run in harmony. But you asked about our dentistry, so I have Fridays are not my day off. Fridays are the day I actually do dentistry.
Nice.
And unlike Todd, where it's an admin day, when you have 15 associates, you just kind of fit in wherever day that no one else wants to take, you have to take it.
Simon Sinek has a book, Leaders Eat Last. I think in our world, we get the last chair. It's like, can I please work on this day? No, you can't. Who are you on this?
Here I am. So that's what you have to do. That's like golden nugget tip number 1. You just kind of go with the flow to make all the pieces fit. But eAssist was formed. We made it 10 years ago. It was born out of necessity when I had my front office manager tell me the dreaded news that you never want to hear. My husband is transferred and we're moving. We're moving. What do you do? There's like a black box up there that the front office just runs the way it's supposed to, and you're back trying to get the margin just right. And when a superstar leaves, you're sometimes in trouble if you can't find a replacement. And most of the good people are already working for somebody else, and the guys that are responding to your want ads, they've been let go by somebody maybe.
For sure.
So eAssist was formed after Jen, my front office manager, who did all my bookkeeping or all of my front office stuff, made everything run, collected from the insurance companies, made sure that we paid at the time of service, presented treatment plans. When she left, my accounts receivables, my over 90 insurance receivables, rose from 50,000 to 250,000 over a period of 2.5 years.
And I have to share for people watching. We got dental students watching, new dentists. I had the awesome chance to work with my dad for 11 years until he unfortunately passed away. But I worked with my brother, and I've been in a dental practice my whole life. When you do full contact arts and crafts, and people don't pay you, it really hurts emotionally. It's not even just about the bottom line. It's like, I spent all that time sweating on the outside, crying on the inside, and you're not going to pay me my $200. So this is so eAssist, you guys are an awesome sponsor. You have a great conference coming up. What are you helping with to decrease this feeling inside dentist's body when they're working? What is eAssist doing there?
Well, we do 3 things for every dentist. We are an assistant for the front office manager. I think that's the best way to look at us. Nice. We want to make sure the office manager is busy keeping the schedule full, busy presenting treatment plans, busy collecting the copay, busy keeping the drama at bay, making sure the office is running and building relationships. And when you have to spend 30 minutes on hold with an insurance company because they've denied a claim for whatever reason, sometimes just because they want to, hoping you're understaffed, I believe.
You're like your parents. You're like, when you say to your parents, can I go out tonight? You're like, why? Like, just because. And that's what they do. This crown's not covered. Why? Just because.
Just because.
Yeah.
Well, we even have this story. We have this these worst claim stories that we hear from our eAssisters. We have 1,000 people that work for us. Awesome. They're all formal dental office managers. Some are current dental office managers. They've all had at least 10 years experience. and they get on the phone and they make those phone calls and they make those appeals,
Right.
and they'll appeal it as many times as they need until that claim gets paid, if it can get paid. Because we get paid only when the claim gets paid. So like it's
shared goals. And what I hear is, I mean, I didn't know up until a couple of years ago, people like you even existed, right? And we have other people who do this, and we need more good people doing this. And I call it like, this should just be your catch line. And I think you would sign up everyone. We're going to outsource your front desk annoyance to us. Just
I love it. Outsource. You know, I think the catch line I came up with like 10 years ago or 6 years ago was, you already outsource your lab work, outsource your front desk work too. Now's the time. But so we do three things. We'll send all the claims, and we'll send them cleanly. We'll have all the notes attached. We'll make sure it gets received. Then we'll post all the claims when they arrive. So the EOBs, they'll still come to the front office. We don't touch the checks at all. We act as a check and balance on embezzlement. Nice. Because we're looking at the checks and someone else is depositing them, right? And so we post all the checks properly, and then we'll follow up on all the denied stuff to make sure you get paid.
I feel like I have an Amanda who I say things like, how do I work my computer? And she helps me because she knows. So it's like, it's more than just being able to do the effort. It's also, you guys are living this language all the time.
That's right.
It's unfair of us. It's exactly like where, we don't know what ignites and layering porcelain means. We just have our lab do it. So it's a really good comparison. And that's how you become a successful person and also decrease your stress. And I think dental school really, because it doesn't teach us how to use our mind or words, just hands, that they feel that you should know everything when it's impossible to do that. It's a terrible way to run anything by trying to do everything yourself. So I love that you guys do that. eAssist, do you help offices of any size? Can anyone work with you?
Yeah, any size. Brand new startups all the way to DSOs. We have one DSO that has 250 something offices. But we're here to really deliver peace of mind. That's our core purpose. I've had dentists tell me this. James, Dr. Anderson, I can sleep better at night knowing that if my front office manager tells me she's pregnant tomorrow, or or she doesn't show up, it doesn't matter because the insurance will always come in. The way most dentists don't know this. If you ask them, what is your over 90-day insurance receivables? They don't know. It should be zero. It should be zero. There's no reason why you got claims hanging out there, unless you're in Illinois where Delta Dental Illinois doesn't pay for 9 months. That's a true story. But there's a number of things that you just have to be aware of. I do want to share this worst claim story, Paul.
Sure.
You're going to love this story. So here's an example. So if you're a new dental student and you're going to start your own dental practice or explore this world, just keep this in mind. This is a true story. And if you're a dentist who's never really worked in the front, this really does happen. An office manager, one of our eAssisters sent a claim out and tried to get it paid, and it was denied. It was denied 3 times. They kept saying, we haven't received the radiograph. Well, they did. We sent it to them with electronically. We even mailed it, and then we faxed it. And they kept saying, we haven't received the radiograph. Denied, denied, denied. So what one of our eAssisters did, Tanya was great. She put the radiograph on auto dial on the fax machine, old school. Faxed it for 2 hours straight until the insurance agent called her up and said, turn off the fax. We got the X-ray.
I like you out annoyed them. That's great. And I mean, what I like to share, because I like to share the awareness of what happens in our dental space. I like to call myself positive, but also realistic, is that these are just the type of the things that dental students and new dentists should be aware of that go into running your practice. Because like my good friend, Dr. Mark Costas likes to say, cash flow is oxygen to your practice. So you can make the most beautiful emergence profile the world has ever seen. If you don't bring in money, I love that you guys help dentists do this. As we wrap up, Dr. James, tell us about this conference. How can people find out what are they going to learn there?
You bet. So we have thousands of dentists that we serve, thousands of them all over the country in every single state. And we've handpicked the very best dentists, the very best who've never really spoken before in conferences. They don't sell anything. It's just dentists teaching dentists about how they have succeeded. And we know they've succeeded because we do their billing for them. So we've handpicked them. We've given them all awards. We've said, all right, would you like to showcase what you've done? They're all coming together in January. We wanted it to be live. Next year it will. It'll be a virtual event. It's free for dental students. Like, we want to give the education out. We're PACE CE certified, so it's worth like 11 CE credits, I think. I
love all this. I was doing virtual stuff before this, so we're going to, honored to be part of it, and we're going to share it with our audience. Amanda and Ariel have all this. We really appreciate it. I think it's a great conference and great concept. And love having you on here. We'll have you back. Hang around the show until you have to do your veneers, and you'll hear from some awesome people. But thanks so much, Dr. James.
Hey, thanks a lot, Paul. Thanks for having me on. We'll see you again.
Oh, my pleasure. Awesome. So we talked with the awesome Dr. Todd about what it means to get case acceptance and do bigger cases and how you can learn that. Talk with Dr. James about billing. Now I have another dentist on the show, but does things besides dentisting, Dr. Scott Drucker, an awesome key resource and sponsor with Supply Clinic. And lean forward because they have an amazing prize. You can win $10,000 of supplies. So Scott, tell us what you guys do and tell us about this amazing raffle you put together for the Nacho audience.
Absolutely, Paul. Thanks again for hosting me. Supply Clinic is an online marketplace for dental supplies. So we bring pricing transparency to the dental supply marketplace. You can go on and search for any given item you're looking for, a composite, anesthetic, and on any product page you can see, we'll show you exactly which one of our sellers sells it and at what price. So you can have a dozen sellers that sell it, see the different prices, and check out in a single checkout with a single payment process, even if you're ordering from multiple places. So just trying to shed some light on pricing of dental supplies. Company was born out of a personal frustration in the shopping experience and pricing opacity.
Doing things to make dentists feel less like this, especially during a pandemic, because we have found, I didn't realize that you could run out of stuff you want to buy, whether it's gloves, whether it's bonding agent, and knowing people in your neighborhood, we're trying to build a virtual neighborhood that you can use to help patients. If you don't have what you need to help patients, you might have to cancel them. You cause yourself stress. So it's no more just I order from one place only. I've even seen companies collaborate well, and you've been a great leader in this, Scott. We say look to multiple vendors so you can get what you need. People have limitations on stuff. So I think that's a great message, Scott.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been particularly difficult, as you know, with PPE right now. We're seeing, I guess biggest pain point with gloves and disinfectant wipes, and the way we look to position ourselves is as part of the supply ordering team of every office, where we can be the liaison between the seller and figure out what's going on with the order, potentially resolve issues that may arise that'll drive offices nuts and that sort of thing. So we're doing our very best as a value add partner to be part of the team to help shop around, see what pricing's out there transparently, and then just facilitate getting dentists the products they need, because you do not want a lack of nitrile gloves to be your rate limiting step to completing that
mid-round, running out of golf balls mid-round, running out of nachos mid-dinner, and you just can't keep going. So Scott, the dentist people, you know them, they love a deal, they love winning stuff. Tell them how they can get this awesome nacho raffle as a key resource and sponsor of the group.
So Paul, this raffle has actually evolved a little bit, and we're giving away a $10,000 prize, $10,000 worth of supplies to one lucky Dental Nachos member who will win the raffle.
I don't know. That's perfect. That'll really enhance the EBITDA for 2021.
By about 10K, give or take. So we've lowered the barrier to entry for the raffle. Awesome. So literally all you have to do to get a ticket for this raffle is go to supplyclinic.com/dental nachos.
Nice.
And enter your name and email address and submit. Awesome. That's it. It does not get easier than that.
Yeah, we'll share that in chat and enter, guys, to win $10,000 in supplies. How nice would that be? And also start to learn more about your company and having you as an option out there as you grow in this dental space, so they can win $10,000 in supplies. When are we running this contest till?
Yeah, we're going to run this contest through the end of the year. The exact date to be determined. We'll do a Facebook live drawing so everybody can kind of watch things on
put up mustaches and say I won, and that'll be it. So I'll grow a mustache by then if that's the case for 10,000.
All right, we'll have to coordinate that, Paul.
On the raffle,
but yeah, it's just to enter. It's literally name and email. You'll get a ticket. If you want to increase your chances, we have a couple ways to do so. We have a coupon, a $20 coupon nachos raffle that you can use on any given order, and literally using that coupon, so giving you those $20 to use, gets you an additional ticket. So that's 2 tickets. And if you want to go the extra mile, you can submit to Nachos raffle at supplyclinic.com, a purchase order or invoice, just to show us that you saved using Supply Clinic. That'll be an additional 9 tickets. So you don't have to do that, but if you want to go the extra mile, it's a possibility.
People, they will go a long way to save or get something for free. I know them. I've got a free C course. We got a lot of stuff. So this is a great thing. So we also have a text code that we'll put into the chat as well and YouTube. So I love that you're a great key resource sponsor, Scott. You're also, because this is, I realize as I look at our show, this is the dentist to do other stuff show.
This is.
So tell us about your dental life before you hop off. What do you do?
Sure.
Dentist still.
Yeah, I'm a periodontist. I practice at a few different general practices here in the city and suburbs of Chicago. So have a very close working relationship with 3 different GPs here, and I practice about 8 days a month, 3 or so Saturdays, and a day or so a week.
Still doing it.
4 to 5 days a month.
I have to say, a dentisting hour is like a dog year hour. So you get like 3 hours for everyone you do, right? So
there you go.
hours a week. So I love what you're doing, Scott. Thanks for being such a great partner here at Dental Nachos. We'll get people into this raffle between now and the end of the year and have a lot of fun doing it.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Thanks so much, Paul.
Yeah, perfect. So we've heard now from Dr. Todd, Dr. James, Dr. Scott, dentists who do other stuff. And now we're going to talk about literally one of my favorite things on planet Earth, dental implants, which I think is one of the best healthcare inventions of the past 30 years. We have Dr. Ivan. I love his name, Implant Ninja, and he's going to share with us what he does as a dentist and also what he does to help dentists with implants. Thanks for being on Margaritas and Momentum, Dr. Ivan. If we can both reach out to Cutwater, maybe they can sponsor one of our next shows. So cheers to you there. So what you do, tell us a little about yourself, where you're sitting now, what you do as a dentist, and how you teach implants.
Yeah, that sounds great. First, well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate that, Paul. When I was in dental school and when I was, when I graduated and went to a residency for prosthodontics, it was still hard to learn implants, right? There was no step-by-step, here's how you do it for dental implants. It was kind of like, there's a bunch of books out there, there's research, there's literature, go figure it out. I don't know if you had that same experience. It was pretty shitty.
It was just very fragmented. The education was fragmented. It wasn't as easy to get a cohesive plan, a step-by-step. I've talked a lot about, crawl, walk, run, sprint type of learning, and it sometimes was just too all over the place. So totally agree with you.
Exactly. And the resources that you find often tell you that it's like rocket science to place it. Like you tell in dental school or as a recent grad, you tell somebody, an oral surgeon, that you're going to learn to place implants, and they look at you like, you're going to place implants?
It's just a giant post. You do the post and core. That's way harder. If you're drilling it, you mess up that, the tooth has to be extracted. Bone's so cool. It's like you're a cool friend. If you start in the wrong spot, you can just move to a new spot. So I've never understood that. The process itself is so predictable. There's enough bone because it's making a hole, putting something in it. So I'm totally with you.
100%. And I agree. Even like doing a class 2 filling is harder for me than doing an implant. And it will be harder for, somebody learning too. Like the technical skills required in a class 2 are more complex than with a simple procedure.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So because out of that frustration, I decided to, first of all, simplify it for myself so I can learn, and then go back and try to teach it. Now, I was teaching things out of my parents' living room. Like people would actually fly to California, come to my parents' house, and they're like, what the hell? Is this a house? Like, I'm out of here.
That's great. I like that.
And so I still got people coming, and it was a lot of fun. But my wife convinced me. She said, "You gotta do an online course." That was in 2018, cool. And so I put together our online course with like really, really up close videography, right? So you can see. It feels like you're in the. I feel like it feels like you're in the op, and I get a lot of. I think it's the best implant course out there, like in existence. Honestly, I don't seem arrogant, but I really do think so.
Your Implant Ninja course, is it designed for anyone at any age or stage? Can you be a starter person and take this course? Is it all at your own pace on video, or are there live lectures?
So the Implant Surgery 101, that's our most popular course, and that basically gets you to placing your first implant. Obviously, you know, everybody's got to use their own judgment, but a lot of our doctors will send me x-rays and say, I did it, you know, like.
Yeah, I saw someone on Dental Nachos or Instagram saying that just the other day.
It's really rewarding. And I sort of like, I kind of chase that feeling of like helping somebody through their, you know, accomplishing their mission. And so, yeah, it's aimed at somebody with no experience or somebody who's placed a few, but really wants to make sure that wants to feel good about what they're doing. Cause they're like, oh, I'm not really sure if I'm doing it right or not. So that's what it's aimed at. You asked me, yeah, go ahead.
People learn more. I want to talk to you more, but I want to just pause because I know our group, I want to get Margaritas and Momentum is actually using Momentum. If someone's like, oh man, I would like to learn about implants. I placed a couple. I finished a residency. I know how to do extractions. How can they learn about this Implants 101 surgery course from you? Can they email you? Can they text you? How can they?
It's a couple ways, implantninja.com, or just shoot me a text right here. This will go to my cell phone. I'll get back to you and just let you know. And I'll get back to them and let you know how to enroll. We have our course coming up in December. So our course opens up December 1st. So that's what's kind of different about our courses. We don't just have a series of videos that you just go through whenever you want, and that's that, right? Like we only open our courses 4 times a year, and we have a couple options. One, you can do the course at your own pace, but by like making it by semester, we can give you some attention. You know what I mean? Like you're not in the void, you know, with nobody there.
Sure.
There's another option that it's become more popular now. It's called a deep dive. So I actually meet up with you once a week for 5 weeks online and help you go over the curriculum, and we kind of discuss cases and pick your first case and get you to place. So, yeah.
I think that's a perfect way, and it's, you know, I did a general practice residency, you did a pros residency, and the real value of that, I had a chance to place 150 implants in a multi-year general practice residency years ago, 2002. But what was great about it was I learned what I wanted to do, what I didn't want to do, what was out of my comfort zone, all with support. And that was very unique, right? And I think that's very hard in private practice. So when you can do this to someone and share with them, how hard is this case? Should you tackle it? Should you refer it? You can do it. I just think that's what the dentists need. I don't know if you're a golfer, but like you're like their implant caddy, right? They're hitting the shot. You're telling them, but you're also telling them if it's nacho nuts to do a sinus lift on your first implant on number 2, because you're not going to have a good experience. And I've used this example a lot, Ivan, because I have taught a lot of intro implant courses. The worst thing about doing too difficult a case is like learning to drive on too hard of a highway. If you make it and don't hurt yourself, the worst thing, you don't want to drive anymore because it's too scary. So it's critical to start in the high school parking lot, side street, build yourself up. And I just think that we learn that for crowns, we learn that for endo, and I think it's great you're doing that for implants.
So I feel like it's one thing that's really important is to learn from other people's mistakes. Like I've made a crap ton of mistakes. I've had a lot of oh shit moments, like oh shit, they're gonna sue me. Oh shit, like you know what I mean. And it's better to have somebody guide you that might have already had those moments and like just tell you maybe that's not a great idea to try to do a full arch of implants plus extractions, you know, all in one hour. You know, you don't do that.
I saw someone do it online. I go, well, they're not going to be in your office that day that happens. So it's great that you saw someone else do it online. But it's weird, Ivan, you had stuff go wrong or you had mistakes that never happened to me in my whole career. It's very odd that you said that. So I don't say wrong or I don't say mistakes. I just say it went off script. So feel free to, because dentists like to say a couple times things went off script. You know, I walk in the operatory, they drop the implant kit on the floor. I say, oh man, things have gone off script. So I love using language that's not even like too much negativity built into dentistry. Not saying this failed, hopeless prognosis. I said it to say, not a good chance of working out, too tough. I'm a huge fan of us changing our language to make us feel like we can do it in a responsible way, and that sounds like you're doing that.
Paul, I would say I've heard before that an expert is somebody who makes all the mistakes in one niche. And so my goal has been, well, as I make the mistakes, I'm like, got that one. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to catalog it. And now I'm going to help you the next time if you make that mistake. You know what I'm saying? So
you're the Implant Ninja Caddy. I love it. Ivan, tell us one more time how people can reach out to you directly. We'll have you back and we'll do some more stuff. I really appreciate you sharing with us. But I know we're scrolling it across the screen, but just for the video.
Hit me up there on text message 209-242-2977. Even if you just have an implant question, I'm happy to help you there. Awesome. All right, man.
Love that, Ivan. So really appreciate being on. Hang around for a little bit more, but thanks for being on Margaritas Momentum. And one day we'll meet in person for a real margarita. Maybe Cutwater will pay for it. So if anyone's watching, And those people in hot water, ask them if they'll send us some free margaritas for the show. Thanks so much, Evan. Awesome. So we've learned so much from dentists to do other stuff. And I'm so happy to have this person on. I want to ask him a question about life, because as I was doing this show, and Amanda might know, my grandmother used to say, I'm going to have people over for coffee and is that and dessert? I don't know. It's a phrase. So this is dentist who do stuff and do other stuff. So we talk with Todd, we talk with Ivan, we talk with James, we talk with Scott. So now we have the awesome Dr. Alan Stern, one of my favorite people out there in the dental space. Share with us, Alan, what you're doing right now. And
we could do coffee and this.
Coffee and, right.
Yeah, we could do that.
I like that. Good one. It's fun. Use that.
What a great pool of people we have. I'm glad to see Scott again. And I got a bone to pick with Dr. Ivan, because the oh shit moment is my phrase. I had first. I've been doing oh shit moments a lot longer than him. So let's just get that out there, because we all have them.
Expert of mistakes. I like that.
That's it. That's it. And there's, we're from New Jersey, Paul, right? And there's certain F words that are used here. One F word that I get really upset about, and that's failure.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the one F word that I will never use, I'll never tolerate in my own head or in the head of any dentist that I'm talking to.
Love that.
It's wrong. Their learning experience, just like Dr. Ivan said. Their learning experience.
I agree with you, Alan, because failure is just such a dramatic term. That your crown prep's a failure. It's a little over tapered. It's not a failure. So I just think dental school needs to infuse better language. You've had quite the journey, and you're one of our awesome sponsors, Better, Richer, Stronger. Take us outside the operatory to dentist life. You've been so kind on Dental Nachos to be supportive to new dentists, medium-age dentists. What are some of the challenges you see dentists are facing through this pandemic, and how do you help them?
Oh, goodness. There's so many of them. The first one, and I think Dr. Ivan made reference to it, you make reference to it all the time, is that we think that if something is not perfect, you're going to get sued, you're going to die, you're going to be called a quack. No, that's not one. It could be better. Number two, the big challenge, I think, is getting the word out to your team. Well, your team should get it. You should all be on the same page. That's one challenge. But then collectively getting the word out that a dental office is a safe place to be.
Like that.
We are safer. You're safer in a dental office than you are in a hair salon.
For sure.
You're safer than in a supermarket.
Yeah.
We do so much. Even offices that don't go over the top. Even offices that don't do what my absolutely perfect dental office does. It never does anything wrong.
Yeah, right.
All dental offices are safe. There's no transmission of that. So you got to get that word out. The other challenge is balancing the backlog of hygiene services that has been going on this March with your current staffing level of hygienists. You got to balance that. You got to take care of them all and get them all in time.
Love that.
And then treatment planning and dentistry. Expressing to people that the dentistry is good for them. And there are ways to communicate that. You just have to know it in here and in here.
I love that, Alan. What I want to do for a second, Alan, so Alan is one of my close friends, sponsors. You can reach out to him at betterricherstronger.com. Let's do this for 1 second, Alan. You can't tell, but you're going a little slow to us. Everyone else who's here can pop back on for a few minutes for our wrap up. Amanda, tell Alan to go back, and maybe this happened to me once on StreamYard. Maybe he can just switch where he is on the internet, because you're going a little slow to us with your voice, Alan. I might not be to you. So James, everyone else can pop back on for the wrap up, and we'll bring Alan back on. And Amanda, you can bring Alan off the screen maybe and then talk to him. Perfect. So what I want to ask here at the end, if anyone else here, is not about you. I want to know, what did you learn about someone else today on this show that you thought, never heard of that, cool idea, I want to try that out. So not about your company, not about what you said. So I'll start with you, Scott. Anything you learned today that it was an aha moment, or just, hey, that's pretty cool?
Yeah, I didn't know about this Implant Ninja thing.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna check it out. I went through a 3-year intense program, but I love it's interesting. The Ivan and I were chatting before the show, and he said he did his residency in Pros, and there was some contention there between the departments, and You see it all too much. That's kind of the classic interdepartmental battle.
Basketballs, when there's thousands of basketballs, right? It's great. And one of the things, and it's great having a periodontist on, and I've been sharing this, you need people to refer you stuff to do your work. They have to be aware. Gum tissue recession, implants, bone grafting, scaling root planing. So we do some extractions, refer some. We do some endo, we refer some. We see some kids. If we get implants in line with this, both the general dentist and the specialist will all do more to the benefit of the patient.
Yeah,
right?
my philosophy here is that I think everybody should be educated, and everybody should be able to recognize where they are and what's appropriate to tackle. We talked a little bit about this at the very beginning of the show today. Sort of know your comfort zone, and as you go and become more experienced, you'll be able to tackle bigger and more complex cases. But I mean, my philosophy, I'll sit with the GPs that I work closely with and walk through a case and teach and educate, because it's, I mean, I'd rather them be comfortable and learn and grow. And then when there are those oh shit moments or what have you, things are more complex, great. I'm happy to help.
The scarcity mindset is kind of nacho nuts at any time, but it's especially nacho nuts with dental implants, since there's millions of missing teeth. And if we can just create more awareness at every level, patient, GP, specialist, great. So I love that. James, I'll go up to you. Your first time on Margaritas and Momentum, anything you learned or heard? You're like,
I love the show, Paul. I mean, really, I was asking my guys that came in. One of my patients actually came in and gave me some money here while we were talking.
I like that. Good show.
I know, nice, right? And my assistant was like, what podcast is that? I got to check it out. The Nacho guy. Yeah, the Nacho. We love it. So I wasn't aware of what you're doing here. I'm now a fan. I really appreciate it, Paul.
Awesome.
I really, really do. This is a great thing. You're a great service. You're targeting not only a young dentist, but seasoned guys too. And when dentists talk to other dentists, this isn't so stressful anymore.
Right? Yeah,
it's not as stressful, especially when it's fun.
My goal is to take dentists, they're in one giant weird hermit crab shell, and just put them in a smaller shell of weirdness. And one day they will break free. And it's, I mean, we just have this cave. And even I'm a multi-practice owner. I don't have as many practices as you, but even when you're around a lot of dentists, it can still be isolating, because when you're in your room, you're by yourself. Like Seinfeld's joke, when you're in the shower, you got to take care of every problem. No one else is there to help you. And a lot of times that happens. You can have the best assistant. They're awesome, but there's just dentist-centric stress. That band flies off the tooth or the ring goes on the floor.
And then, hey, I got you, Eric.
You got problems. So, thanks so much, James.
I've got to go seek that case, Paul. Thanks a lot. See you guys.
Awesome. Talk soon. I'm going to finish up with Ivan a little bit more. Scott, if you want to jump on the tree. But Ivan, this was your first time on the show. What did you learn from someone else or heard from anyone else that you're like, oh, that's an aha moment, or I didn't know that existed, or a connection you think you can make from this?
Well, I would say I'm glad I connected with Scott. I didn't know about Supply Clinic. I think that's a cool idea, a super cool idea to have an e-commerce platform. Allows you to compare all those different supplies that you might need, rather than just kind of like, blindly go with the prices of one supplier. So that's awesome. Happy to connect. Appreciate that.
I love it. Thanks, everyone. More, and I'll finish up here with Alan in a minute. Thanks so much, Scott. I appreciate it. Now, Ivan, Alan, we both talk so much, I can talk for both of us. So if you're going slow, it's okay. But I want to ask you about something I always think about. Now I can see you better. Your Sunday emails are so powerful in our group. Tell us what inspires you to write these emails. You wrote one recently with so many nacho phrases that was so well received. Tell us about what inspires you to write your Sunday Alan message.
Can you hear me okay now, Paul?
I definitely can hear you. If you're going slow in the face, it's no problem, because I can hear your voice. No big deal.
All right. You know what? I sit down and I look back at my past week, at what's happened in my office, in my life, in the world. And I just start sitting and writing and tying it into the things I'm thinking of. I think that a lot of things in dentistry are much deeper and much more profound than we realize. Paul, you break it down into such easy to understand language. We're dentisting. We're nacho nuts. You hate bridges. You love implants. All these things. These are very important mechanical fundamentals, but it's all for a reason. And we are doing things to touch people's lives. And I'm writing about life. I'm writing about the realities of the world we're living in and how we as dentists can make it better. I saved 2 lives this week.
Yeah.
And just by taking a freaking blood pressure And by looking at a wear pattern on a person, see a diet and patient comes in to re-cement the crown. I see his teeth are worn in the front. I see he's got a big fat neck. I see he's got a scalloped tongue and I can't see airway. I sent him for a sleep study. I saved his daggone life.
Yeah, and Alan, you did a great story the other day. And this is like, I'm 2 doors down from this really amazing chef. And one day that amazing chef, who's world renowned, has to sit with someone and show them to chop lemons. So you're never too good to show someone the basics. You taught a patient how to brush their teeth recently.
Oh, God, Paul. I've had a couple of people who, for one reason or another, don't brush, don't floss. I have a lady who has some mental health issue, a beautiful lady. She can't stand in front of a mirror and brush. So I said, just walk around the house.
Right.
And text me when you do it. I have a couple of young kids. They text me every day that they're flossing. 5 seconds out of my nacho nuts time. 5 seconds that I don't have to do this. I have the joy of knowing that I touched a person's life. That's devastating, man. It's better than the 3-unit bridge. It's better than an implant. You're steering the course of a person's life for the better. It means a lot. And you don't think that that's marketing?
It goes back to, Alan, it's the Maya Angelou quote. People are all just going to remember how we made them feel when it's all over. And the people you make feel that they can text a dentist that they brushed. A no big deal to you. I always say that when something's no big deal to you, it can be a huge deal to somebody else. So always do those no big deal things. Thumbing up a text, hearting a text, saying text. I mean, Ivan was kind enough to say if someone's an implant question, text them. I know dentists, 99 out of 100 are going to be too scared to text them. But that one who texts them and says, hey, Dr. Ivan, I want to do this. It's so powerful. And that's the ABC, always be connecting. And if someone was to ask me, Alan, you're helping me with this, we need to build relationship between dentists that way. You know,
yes.
I wish I could say we had to repair relationships. Repairing's easier. We haven't even built the relationship between dentists, and we need to do that between generations, between dental students, because I think that's the only way we're going to help our industry move forward in a positive way, is if dentists can truly bond together to use a dental service.
Yes, you're doing it, Paul. You're doing it brilliantly. I'm trying to do it better, Richer, Stronger on Facebook. I mean, we're both oriented to the same thing in slightly different ways, and that makes it wonderful. Your experience is mine. You're a middle-aged dentist. I'm a geezer-aged dentist, right? And we've had different experiences. And all that enriches our colleagues. And when we enrich our colleagues and our friends, life gets better for us and for them.
I love that. I want to share that you always are willing to do a virtual free cup of coffee.
Yep.
And my dream of dunking did not come true, but this dream is pretty cool too. So I appreciate you being you. You can reach out to you at betterricherstronger.com. Schedule that free virtual cup of coffee with Alan. So many nachos have done it, and they love it. Thanks for being you, Alan. I really appreciate it. And thanks to everybody for watching in.
Right back at you, Paul.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.